asphalt maps, the stories written by our souls. Beneath the rusted awning, where the thunder rolls, you see the chain link fence is just a jagged line, but it marks the border where the shadows intertwine. Hey, old man Jenkins leans against the red brick wall, watching every season rise and every empire fall. He remembers when the factory hummed a different tune. Now he just whistles at the pale and dusty moon. Stand tall where the cracked pavement meets the sky. Hold the name of these alleys like a battle cry. It is the weight of the gravel and the grace in the clay, representing the ground where we learn how to stay. They look through the windows but they never see the heart. They try to tear the canvas and the pulse apart, but a zip code isn't gospel if you say it loud. A sovereign kingdom hidden in a lonely crowd. The street lamps flicker like a tide every hour, while the freight train's heavy with the cold roll by. Every stoop is a thorn and every corner is a stage, turning the yellow leaves of a long forgotten page. It is not about the gold or the hollow fame. It is about the way your neighbors know your name. The blood in the mortar and the spirit in the street. The steady pacing of 1,000 marching feet. Stands tall where the cracked pavement meets the sky. Hold the name of these alleys like a battle cry. It's the weight of the gravel, grace in the clay, representing the ground where we learn how to stay. Stand tall where the cracked pavement meets the sky. Oh, the name of these alleys like a battle cry is the weight of the gravel and the grace in the clay, representing the ground where we learn how to stay. In a room with the ghost of a scream, flicker of the blue light haunting the scene. The steel door bolted with a digital key, captive to a vision that I cannot unsee. Glazed eyes fixed on the pixels in the frame, traded in my soul for a hollow kind of game. Silicon idols in a high-speed chase, chasing down a feeling that I cannot replace. Thick smoke rising from the hardware heat, paralyzing broken in the driver's seat. The street keeps moving but I'm frozen in place, counting every second of this heavy disgrace. Paper thin promises in every new tab, living for the butcher and the venomous stab. 100 different faces but they all look the same, drowning in the currents of a nameless flame. Staring at the void until the void stares back, wandering a path where the sky turns black. Cooked on a flicker and a phantom touch, holding on to nothing with a desperate clutch. The weight of the world is a heavy stone, sitting on a throne while I'm all alone. Prisoner of habit in a velvet cage, writing out the words on a poison page. The clock on the wall is a hammer on a nail, every single minute makes the spirit feel frail. I try to walk away but the gravity pulls, building up a temple for the kingdom of fools. Cold sweat dripping in the middle of the night, losing every battle in a silent bite. The connection of wall burning, no wire, walking through the center of a digital fire. Fire, 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 fire. Morning sunlight is a blade to the eye, hiding from the truth under a pixelated lie. The neighborhood is waking but I'm fading to gray, watching all my energy just wither away. Stacking up the secrets like a mountain of lead, living in the shadows of the things I fed. Used to be a giant, now I'm small in the glare, breathing in the static of the electric air. Check the history and see the debris of the man and man he was supposed to be. Gold-plated chains on a spirit that's torn, caught in the middle of a storm being born. No more excuses for the path that I took, giving up the ghost and the bait on my hook. Cleared the cache and the memory of pain, trying to find a way just to wash off the stain. The pole starts climbing as the cursor starts to fire, looking for bright heaven in the low resolution sky, but the hunger only grows with the more that I consume. Shadows getting longer in the middle of the room, staring at the void until the void stares back, wandering the words on a poison page.
The neon sign has a missing letter, and the paint is peeling back. Walk aside where the carpet hides the dust along the track. She doesn't ask for a name or a reason why you came, just points to a door where the silence feels the same. The incense burns a hole through the afternoon haze. Another soul looking to fix his weary ways. I saw a man coming out with his collar turned up high, avoiding the glance of every stranger passing by. The exchange is quick and the currency is cold. Story of the lonely, never quite get told. Beneath the linoleum and the artificial glow, there's a secret map that only the broken know.
And it's a temporary kindness, bar with a folded bill. A momentary pause while the rest of the world stands still. Searching for a grace in a place without a view. Trying to find a version of a dream that might be true. Just a touch to mend the heavy seams of the day. Before you pack your shadows and you walk away.
Yeah. She moves like a ghost in a floral catagram, counting down the hours until the sun goes down. The radio is humming a tune from years ago about a love that withered where the gardens used to grow. She knows the weight of every shoulder that she takes, the sound a hollow spirit makes right before it breaks. There are no poets here to write the final lines. No bells are ringing out, no holy water shines. Only the friction of the palms against the skin, a quiet trade between the sorrow and the sin.
And it's a temporary kindness, bob with a folded bill. A momentary pause while the rest of the world stands still. Searching for the grace in a place without a view. Trying to find a version of a dream that might be true. Just a touch to mend the heavy seams of the day. Before you back your shadows and you walk away.
Yeah.
Beneath the heavy stride, got the city trembling with nowhere left to hide. Walking like a king with the heavy load to bear. Gravity is failing while the rivals stop and stare. I am dragging thunder through the valley of the heat, leaving deep indentations in the middle of the street. The pavement is a witness to the mass I possess, a physical dominion that the weak won't confess. Steel beams bending when I lean against the wall. Watch the giants crumble while I am standing tall. Every single motion sends a ripple through the floor, counting up the presence that they simply can't ignore. Iron in my pockets, but the weight is all innate. Custom tailored denim, struggling against the fate. Calculated friction in the way I occupy, taking up the vision of the panoramic eye. I don't need a weapon with the center of the force, altering the orbit and the planetary course. Hear the metal groaning as I settle in the seat, making all the shadows bow down at my feet. It is the burden of the greatness a monument to skin. Where the legends spin is he's where I just begin. Telling all the critics they should measure out the size before they look for weakness in a titan's eyes. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod. Mountains move aside when they hear the low rumble. Empires of the fragile start to shake and then crumble. You are looking at a master of the physical law, something that the prophecy and the visions never saw. Double up the leather and the stitching on the gear, living out the anthem that the lesser people fear. Solid as a boulder in the middle of the screen, living out the nightmare or your most ambitious dream. Every step is seismic, every glance is a threat, paying off the glory in the anatomical debt. I am holding down the corner with the massive display, turning all the midnight into terrifying day. The scale is screaming mercy, but I never give a grain, dancing in the lightning and the monumental rain. Look at what I carry, look at how I hold the torch, burning every terrace and the architectural porch. Unapologetic with the volume of the man, executing greatness on a universal plan. Keep your little trophies and your tiny little wins. I am where the heavy metal history begins. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every labor into sacred holy sod. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod. Heavy in the motion, swinging like a wrecking ball. Built a marble palace just to watch the ceiling fall. Giant in the valley with the swagger of a god, turning every acre into sacred holy sod.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Heavy in the front seat, chrome spinning slow. Suspicion screaming out every time we go. I hit the boulevard with the queen on the throne. 300 pounds of royalty in the danger zone. She got that seismic step, making the pavement crack. I like the way the leather groans when she leaning back. No stick figures allowed in this neighborhood. If she ain't breaking the scales, then it ain't no good. I'm pulling up to the drive-thru, ordering 10. She licking grease off her fingers, then she starts it again. The wider the waistline, the more I'm in love. She's overflowing the booth, pushing push comes to shove. The mattress is crying out for mercy tonight, but when she drops that weight, it's a beautiful sight. I need a mountain of a woman with a surplus of skin. Let the feast in the bedroom finally begin. The structural integrity is failing the floor, but I'm knocking and shouting and begging for more. The world's been different when the masses this trend. I got the biggest prizes, so hold that land. Gravity is working overtime in the dark, leaving deep footprints all through the park. I'm hunting for the heavies with the heavy artillery. The biggest girl in the city is the one for me. Double the digits and double the joy. She treats the whole world like a fragile toy. I'm sinking in the softness and I'm losing my breath. I love these giant ladies until the day of my death. The critics talking thin, but they don't understand the way she fills up the space like a flood on the land. I'm talking curves like a highway when a friend in sight. I'm talking shadow so big that she blocks out the light. She's a buffet of beauty and I'm starving for heat. I like the sound of her breathing when we hit the sheet. No bone structure showing just a surplus of grace. I'm lost in the layers in this holy place. I bought a heavy duty truck just to carry the load. We're the kings of the asphalt, we're the lords of the road. Our appetite is legendary, just like her hips. I'm facing every single one, so past the ruby red lip. The thinner ones are real, they might slap in my hand, but she's a solid foundation where a soldier can stand. At the calories high, let my butter just run. Love the massive woman is the ultimate fun. The structural integrity is failing the floor, but I'm knocking and shouting and begging for more. The world spins different when the masses this when I got the biggest prize in the whole damn land. structural integrity is failing the fall, but I'm knocking and shouting and begging for more. The world spins different when the masses discipline. I got the biggest prize in the whole damn hand. Gravity is walking over time in the dark, leaving deep footprints all through the park. I'm hunting for the heavies with the heavy artillery. The biggest girl in the city is the one for me. Double the digits and double the joy. She creates the whole world like a fragile toy. I'm seeking their softness and I'm losing my breath. I'll love these giant ladies until the day of my death. Gravity is walking over time in the dark, leaving deep footprints all through the park. I'm hunting for the heavies with the heavy artillery. The biggest girl in the city is the one for me. Double the digits and double the joy. She creates the whole world like a fragile toy. I'm sinking that softness and I'm losing my breath. I love these giant ladies until the day of my death.
Profile picture was a blurry lie, a grainy snapshot under a desert sky. You said you loved the sound of falling rain, but you spent an hour complaining about the train. The coffee shop was closing up its doors. I checked my watch and paced the checkered floors. You didn't look like any of the frames. You mixed up dates and forgot both our names. You spoke in circles about an ex in Spain, while I memorized the coffee liquid stain. The air grew heavy with a forced polite smile. I haven't felt this lonely in a long while. Oh, the thumbs swipe right, but the hearts stay cold. A bargain basement story that's already been told. Not every spark is meant to catch a flame. Jumped another face without a real name. The screen glows bright, but the truth is thin. Losing a game before we even begin. You ordered water, then you asked for the check. I felt the panic rising up my neck. You told a joke that landed on the ground. The loudest silence is a hollow sound. I looked for exits near the velvet chair, while you rearranged your artificial hair. I lied and said I had an early flight. Anything to get out of this Tuesday night. You shrugged your shoulders and you grabbed your coat, leaving a bitter taste deep inside my throat. We stood like statues by the subway gate, resigned to the failure of a digital fate. Oh, the thumb swiped right, but the heart stayed cold. A bargain basement story that's already been cold. Not every spark is meant to catch a flame. Just another face without a real name. The screen glows bright, but the truth is thin. Losing the games before we even begin. The algorithm missed a beat, or maybe we're just strangers on a dead-end street. There's no geometry for the way we feel. Nothing in these pixels ever promised to be real. Delete the history and clear the cache. Turn the whole encounter into gray-white ash. Oh, the thumb swipe right, but the heart stay cold. But bargain basement story that's already been told. Not every spark is meant to catch a flame. Just another face without a real name. The screen glows bright, but the truth is thin. Losing it beam before we even begin. Oh, the funk straight right, but the heart stayed cold. A bargain basement story that's already been told. Not every spark is meant to catch a flame. Just another face without a real name. The screen glows bright, but the truth is thin. Losing the game before we even begin. 10. 10. Yeah, it's the Leo Show. Oh, country on the beat. Let's go. Yeah.
Leo walking in like he owns the whole place. Big up some energy written all over his face. Tail up high like bow down peasants. Every step he takes is a royal presence. Crunchy right behind him, tiny but bold. Zuli's at midnight, breaking the mold. Jumping off couches like he's ready to fly. He's chaos and fur with a sparkle in his eye. Leo and Crunchy running the house. One's a quiet king, one's a wild little mouse. Two furry bosses with a whole lot of style. They make every bad day worth it by a mile, yeah. Leo and Crunchy, that's the crew. If you don't love them yet, they'll convert you. Leo's the type to nap like a pro. Sunbeam hitting just right, that's his glow. He'll judge you softly from across the room, but purrs so loud he can shake the moon. Crunchy's the man that's with a heart of gold, stealing your socks like he's never been told. Climbs the curtains, knocks down pans, then stares at you like do it again. Leo and Crunchy running the house. One's a riot king, one's a wild little mouse. Two furry bosses with a whole lot of style. They make every bad day worth it by a mile, yeah. Leo and Crunchy, that's the crew. If you don't love them yet, they'll convert you. Leo's chilling like a wise old sage. Crunchy's living life on turbo stage. Different vibes, but the bond is tight. Two little legends in the same spotlight.
Jungle waits where the hallway light decays. A bargain struck in a syntax born of haze. We trade our secrets in a borrowed tongue. Between the ladder steps where we both hung. The currency of breath and jagged lines. Across the border where the gold declines. She sits upon the edge of cotton sheets. Her shadow stretching out to frozen streets. I offer syllables she tried to learn. Small paper bridges that we start to burn. No history behind the painted stare. Just heavy molecules of city air. The verb is missing but the intent stays. Lost in the thicket of a foreign phrase. Jungle waits where the hallway light decays. A bargain struck in a syntax born of haze. Trade our secrets in a borrowed tongue. Between the ladder steps where we both hung. The currency of breath and jagged lines. Across the border where the gold declines. Oh, yeah. Our dictionary lies beside the glass. Watching the hours and the fever pass. She says her name, it sounds like falling glass. I give a reason, man, I let it pass. We build a room out of a broken sound, where nothing certain can be ever found. The nouns are heavy and the adjectives are sin. Outside the winter ice is settling in. Where the hallway light decays. A bargain struck in a syntax born of case. We trade our secrets in a borrowed tongue. The currency of breath in jagged lines across the border where the north declines.
Yeah. Stacking green paper high to the ceiling beams. Yeah. Walking through the city chasing heavy dreams. Pockets overflowing with the heavy weight. Yeah. Rolling through the streets opening every gate. Every single dollar tells a different tale. Living on the edge and I will never fail. Cold hard silver in my palm today. Yeah. Watching all the shadows simply fade away. Counting up the digits in the quiet night. Everything I touch is shining, burning bright. Yeah. Calculated moves for the ultimate prize. Reading all the hunger in their hollow eyes. Diamonds on my neck, freezing up the air. Built this kingdom from a struggle and a prayer. Hustle in my blood flowing like a stream. Yeah. Living out the life of a king and scheme. No more empty cupboards, no more dusty floors. Now I'm kicking down the grandest golden doors. Investment portfolios growing by the hour. True financial freedom is the only power. They used to look down from the ivory tower. Yeah. Now they smell the scent of my booming flower. Keep the circle tight and the vision clear. Yeah. Eliminate the doubt and the sin of fear.
Benjamin's falling like a summer rain. Wash away the struggle and the mental pain. Currency is king in its concrete maze. Set the whole world in a golden blaze. Fortune in the vault and a key in mind. Watch the stars above and the planets line. Victory is sweet when the bank is full. Grab the world from me by the raging bull.
Numbers moving fast on the digital screen.
Purest manifestation that I've ever seen. From the concrete cracks to the velvet seats. Mastering the game is these rugged streets. Every coin earned is a lesson learned. Bridges from the past have been slowly burned. Wealth is a mountain and I'm forced to climb. Making every second worth a silver dime. Luxury cars lining up the driveway now. Never took a loss, never took a bow. Global transactions while the city sleeps. Promises of debts that a winner keeps. Suit tailored sharp like a razor blade. Proud of every single sacrifice I made. Real estate holdings across the map. Never falling back into the poverty trap. Gold in the safe and it's locked up tight. Victory tastes better in the morning light. Generation wealth for the ones I love. Blessings falling down from the sky above. Business mind sharp like a diamond drill. Climbing up the peak of the highest hill. Turn a small spark to a roaring fire. Rising up higher than the tallest spire. Keep the ledger balance and the focus sharp. Playing on the strings of a golden heart. Legacy is built on a solid base. Winning every lap but it's frantic race. The paper trail leads to a higher ground. Solid moves lay without a single sound. The count never stops and the aim is true. Doing exactly what I came to do. Benjamin's falling like a summer rain. Wash away the struggle and the mental pain. Currency is king in this concrete maze. Set the whole world in a golden braid. Fortune in the vault and the key is mine. Watch the stars above and the planets line. Victory is sweet when the bank is full. Got the world early by the raging bull. Through a heavy haze, above the pines where the mountain sways, I saw you carved in a silver track with the winter sun pinned against your back. Your goggles mirrored the frozen blue while I was drifting in pursuit of you. Power flying like a shattered glass, waiting for the lucky turn to pass. My heart is buried in the deepest drift, a sudden pull and a tectonic shift. You slide away, the shadows lean, a blur of white in a velvet scene. Ice and fire on a jagged ridge, burning down the only wooden bridge. Falling hard for the froth you bring, waiting for the thaw in the coming spring. You stop to breathe breathe where the air is thin. The crystals resting on your porcelain skin. I try to speak, but the wind is loud, lost inside a heavy winter cloud. Your tracks are braided in the valley floor. I find myself wanting something more than just a glimpse of a downhill flight, vanishing into the morning light. The temperature is sinking low, below the silence of the falling snow. The map is blank and the signs are gone, but I won't keep this jacket on. My heart is buried in the deepest drift, a sudden pull and a tectonic shift. You slide away where the shadows lean, a bird of white in a velvet sea. Ice and fire on a jagged ridge, turning down the only wooden bridge. Falling hard from the force you bring, waiting for the fall and the coming spring. Maybe you belong to the northern peak, where the jagged stones and the blizzards speak. I am just a traveler in the cold, chasing after stories left untold. Before the salt melts the highway line and the summer turns the needles on the pine, I'll watch your silhouette become a speck with the woven scarf around your neck. The lodge is glowing with the distant heat, while I am tracing where our edges meet. If the seasons change, I will still remain caught inside this frozen hurricane, just a shadow on a slope of white, following your ghost into the night. The temperature is sinking low, below the silence of the falling snow. The map is blank and the signs are gone, but I will keep this jacket on. My heart is buried in the deepest drifts, a sudden pull and a tectonic shift. You slide away where the shadows lean, a blur of white in the velvet scene. Ice and tar on a jagged bridge, burning down the old East Newton Bridge. Falling hard for the force to bring, waiting for the thaw in the coming spring.
On the heavy hand, the counting starts in a silent room. Green roads rising like city towers, higher than the dust of the afternoon. The morning light is a 4 degrees, a crisp reminder of a day long gone. I watch the shadow of the tall columns stretching out across the lawn.
Stacking paper till the sky is white, building fences out of thin sheets, keep the heavy wind from the door tonight, while the gravel burns beneath our feet. It's a long road made of fiber and lace. It's a hard climb to a hollow space.
The bank is closed, but the mind is open. The ink is dry, but the heart is soaking. What is just a weight to carry in the box you'll never bury. One by one the layers grow, cold as the coming of the snow. Thumb against the grain of the bill, tracing lines that the masters drew. Figures standing on the flat horizon, waiting for the harvest to come through. There is no sound in the accumulation, just the friction of the grain on grain. A monument to the hours stolen from the valley in the pouring rain. Every pile has a story to tell of the bridge we crossed and the soul we sail. Count it out until the math is right, before the sun gives way to the night.
Stacking paper till the sky is white, building fences out of thin sheets, keep the heavy wind from the door tonight, while the gravel burns beneath our feet. It's a long road made of fiber and lace. It's a hard climb to a hollow space. Stacking paper till the sky is white, building fences out of thin sheets, keep the heavy wind from the door tonight, while the gravel burns beneath our feet. It's a long road made of fiber and lace. It's a hard climb to a hollow space.
a crooked smile. The heavy-weighted glass against the tile. I weigh the silver coins against the shame. A hollow bargain for a hollow name. The pocket full of promises and dust. A jagged edge on every word of trust. I watch the mercury begin to rise while looking through a stranger's tired eyes. The street lamps flicker like a failing heart. You learn to tear the morning light apart. A quiet hand beneath the velvet coat. The salted bitter words inside my throat. It's not the gold that keeps the engine cold. It's all the lies the younger versions told. The scale is balanced on a razor wire. A cold transaction fueled by frozen fire. Take the heavy water for the thirst. The last of us shall be the very first to trade the spirit for a plastic key and rock the door against the open sea. I am the vendor of the rent to chill. A ghost who pays the master of the bill. The garden's gone seeded thick with weeds while satisfying all the hungry needs. The clock is striking 13 on the wall. The giants stumble while the shadows fall. Don't ask me for the recipe of grace. I've seen the finish line and quit the race. The medicine is sour on the tongue. A song of ruin that is always sung. A copper sky's bleeding in the west. The weary travelers find a place to rest. I stack the powders in a neat row and watch the seeds of sorrow start to grow. The law is just a garment worn for show. A tattered rag with dirty breezes blow. The copper badge is shining in the mud beneath the pressure of the rising flood. Take the heavy water for the thirst. The last of us shall be the very first to shake the spirit for a plastic key and lock the door against the open sea. I am the vendor of some winter chill. For those who pays the master of the bill. The garden's gone to seed and thick with weeds while satisfying all the hungry needs. Take the heavy water for the thirst. The last of us shall be the very first to trade the spirit for a plastic key and lock the door against the open sea. I am the vendor of the winter chill. A ghost who pays the master of the bill. The garden's gone seed and thick with needs while satisfying